Welcome to it. I'm David Lloyd. Coming up, the very latest on the Steelers' T.J. Watt as he deals with a collapsed lung. We start, though, with some breaking news into SportsCenter. Former Michigan head coach Sherrone was arraigned today on 3 charges: breaking and entering, home invasion, and stalking. The home invasion charge is a felony. The other 2 are misdemeanors. Moore posted bond and was released today. In the fall, Moore had been the subject of a Michigan investigation into an inappropriate relationship with a staff member that was never proven. The prosecutors say on Monday the victim in this case broke up with Moore and then presented evidence of the relationship to the school. Moore was fired shortly thereafter. In court today, First Assistant Prosecutor Katie Resmersky outlined what happened next, with Moore appearing remotely.
As we all now know, defendant was at some point on Wednesday afternoon fired from his employment. He then, at some point soon thereafter, came to her apartment in the address that is alleged in the complaint, barged his way into that apartment, immediately then proceeded to a kitchen drawer, grabbed several butter knives and a pair of kitchen scissors, and began to threaten his own life. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to make you watch. My blood is on your hands. You ruined my life. And a series of very, very threatening, intimidating, terrifying, quite frankly, statements and behaviors there in the apartment. It was only then, Your Honor, when the victim, she called her attorney and then at some point indicated she was going to call the police, and then he left.
If convicted on all charges, Moore faces a maximum of 6 years in prison. His next court date is set for January 22nd. We're following a developing story in the NFL. Steelers pass rusher T.J. Watt underwent surgery for a partially collapsed lung after what's called a dry needling treatment at the team facility. His brother J.J. Watt posted on social media that T.J. is expected to leave the hospital today. Our senior NFL writer Jeremy Fowler with us now. So what can you tell us about how long T.J. Watt is going to be out?
David, I can tell you that he is expected to make a full recovery. He is hopeful to resume playing football again sometime soon, but that's not a slam dunk. There's no firm timeline here. And honestly, people I've checked with the Steelers don't exactly know when he's going to be back. Now, he's known to be rigorous with his rehab. He's a guy who likes to be ahead of schedule. So he's certainly going to try to get back for the playoff push. But right now, everybody involved, from the Steelers to Watt's family to even the NFL Players Union, which is monitoring this for good reason, just wants him to be able to rest up and be good to go. And it seems like that's going well so far. Yeah,
Steelers-Dolphins on Monday Night Football. So take us through some other injury updates that we're looking for in Week 15.
Yes, so Joey Bosa should be back in action. He is off the injury report, had a hamstring issue and a bit of a wrist issue this week. Huge matchup between Buffalo and New England. Bills are slowly getting a little healthier, so they'll have Spencer Brown, their right tackle, back as well. Dalton Kincaid, their tight end, came back last week and had no setbacks on his issues, so things are looking relatively good. They do have Christian Benford, their star cornerback, is questionable, so that'll be one to watch. So Bosa, good to go off the edge for the Bills. And then Devontae Adams. So the Rams go through this rinse and repeat every week where they list him as questionable, but they expect him to play. That's the case again this week. He's got a hamstring. I'm told firmly he is going to play, and he's been a huge star for L.A. opposite Puka Nacua. They got that 1-2 punch. Big matchup with the Lions, but they will have Adams in the lineup. And then lastly, this is one to watch for fantasy owners, Josh Jacobs. Knee swelling, so he is listed as questionable, was limited in practice today but didn't do anything else all week. It's really been a week-to-week situation with him as he's dealing with this. No major issue shown on the MRI or the tests, but it's a matter of seeing how he feels on Saturday, see if that swelling can subside before they make a firm determination.
That would be big. The guy spends a lot of time in the end zone, 12 rushing touchdowns, tied for 3rd in the league. Jeremy giving us the latest there. For more on Week 15, here's Tony and Mike with PTI's bonus topic.
All right, Wilbon, which Week 15 matchup is the most intriguing? We're going to skip over my personal matchup of Bears hosting Browns.
You don't have to skip over that if that's what you think.
I mean, there's a guy in that game who could break the sack record. I hope he doesn't break it in that game, Myles Garrett.
By burying Caleb Williams
yeah,
3 or 4 times. Yeah.
So we're going to skip right over that, and I'm going to go, Tony, west to Denver, where in the Mile High location, they'll be hosting the Cheeseheads. Packers at Denver. That could be a Super Bowl preview. I hope not. But that game's also got consequence. Those teams are battling also, not just in their conferences, but they're battling for one seed in their conference, each one of them. So that's my game.
This is a question the personal preference and taste.
Yes, yes.
If I'm going to be honest, the game that intrigues me most is the game between Seattle and the Colts. Because it's hard for me to believe that a 44-year-old grandfather is going to walk out on that field in an NFL game. If he does, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it like I'm watching a horror movie with my hands over my eyes, but I'm going to watch it. And I don't think it's the most important game. My judgment on the most important game, I think I'm going to land on the Rams and the Lions. You know, because if the Lions lose this game, I think they're unlikely to make the playoffs. And I like the Lions. I mean, I've looked at the Lions the last 3 years and thought they are an emerging
window
powerhouse.
Closing. You know, if they lose, just going to reduce.
I don't know that. You know, I'm not going to look forward, but I'm going to say that it would be disappointing because to me, the Lions, it looks like the whole is less than the sum of their parts because they got great players. If the Rams lose, they're in danger of losing the #1 seed in the NFC and having to go on the road with playoffs. And I don't think a team from Southern California wants to go to Lambeau or Seattle. I just don't. I don't think they want to do that. So the consequences of this game strike me as greater than the other.
There's some games, not just in that.
And we haven't mentioned Buffalo.
Consequence. The Buffalo, New England is certain of consequence. That's it. We're done. We're of consequence. Back to you.
We are unconsequential.
No,
we are. And old.
Thanks, fellas. To Thursday night football, where the Buccaneers melted in those creamsicle jerseys, blew a 14-point fourth quarter lead, and lost to the Falcons on Zane Gonzalez's field goal as time expired. Entertaining game, though Todd Bowles was not entertained.
It's inexcusable. Don't make excuses. You gotta care enough about where it hurts. You gotta care enough where it hurts. You gotta mean something to you. It's more than a job. It's your livelihood. How well do you know your job? How well can you do your job? You can't sugarcoat that. It was inexcusable, man. There's no answer for it. There's no excuse for it. It's what you tell them in life. You finish error.
Didn't get most of that, but you get the gist. Our NFL analyst, Mina Kimes, joins us now. So, Mina, you can understand Todd Bowles' frustration. He had a good team at the beginning of the season, and his team is now cratered. They've dropped 5 of their last 6. What would you say is the biggest concern with the Bucs moving forward?
Yeah, you know, a lot of issues last night. Brutal loss. Baker Mayfield throwing the interception, missing a key throw has to be part of that conversation. But I think part of Bowles' frustration probably stems from the fact that his side of the ball, the defense really struggled in this one, particularly, you know, at the end there. And there's injuries being a factor as well. The Falcons picked on Zion McCollum's replacement, Kindle Vildor, in pass coverage. But on the season, when the Bucs don't get pressure, they're 28th in yards per play allowed, which is just not good enough. And then they're not getting pressure consistently enough without blitzing to compensate for that. So I think that's where a lot of this frustration is coming from, and it's going to be a problem down the stretch, even if they get into the playoffs.
Yeah, and you talk about down the stretch. Tampa Bay now has a half game back of Carolina. Those teams played 2 of the final 3 weeks of the season. You have not heard the last from Mina Kimes.